Not unexpected, but strange, I guess is the way I'd have to say it. Carl Icahn issuing that open letter to Cigna shareholders. He's opposing the health insurers deal to buy Express Scripts. That deal, well, he says it's $60 billion, but it's both cash and stock, $54 billion, depending on where it is right now. Icahn says Cigna dramatically overpaying, calls the deal a folly. Also says Amazon represents an existential threat to pharmacy benefit managers such as Express Scripts, adding, quote, when Amazon starts to compete, as we believe they will with their 100 million Prime users and scaled distribution system, they're going to have no trouble breaking into the so-called ecosystem with lower prices. The beneficiary will be the American consumer, not the owners of Express Scripts. Talked a bit about this last week. He doesn't own a lot of stock. I hear, less than 1 million shares.
And
maybe
he's
has
making
another
all this
2 million
noise?
on derivatives. Came late to the party here to some extent in terms of missing the record date, although perhaps that wasn't of great concern to him. It's seemingly an uphill battle. August 24th is the meeting. ISS, the important proxy advisory firm, expected to come out with its recommendation this Friday. That certainly will be important here. But it's a tough one for him. And he's short ESRX. He's short Express. Maybe he's even short more Express than he's long Cigna, since the dollar amount on Cigna is not that large. And maybe he's just trying to help his short out. I'm not certain. But I will tell you, in talking to at least one large holder here who, opposes Icahn on this on all fronts and points out that these PBMs have been very successful in keeping the rate of inflation in terms of drug prices lower for their customer base. Express customers paid 1.1% more in 18 than they did so far in 18 than they did in 17. That's roughly half the rate of inflation. Also goes on to point out that a number of Icahn's companies, so to speak, use Express. Questions here. T-Row, big holder. What will their guys do is a question in terms of the vote. But listen, Cigna's going to have to fight back here. Icahn is not a foe to be dismissed lightly, right. Even if he doesn't own a lot of stock here, and even if, to a certain extent, some are wondering what his real motives are coming so late to the game to oppose this deal. You can read his whole letter if you want. By the way, it's on his website. Just search it up.
This is a major monkey around. Cordani's, he's explained this deal over and over again. This is a way to be able to compete against United Health. You can't compete against United Health unless you have this data. I think that it's a natural fit. United Health's been running away with the group. I do think that Cigna is worth a lot in this stock. It has kept Cigna down. Once the deal's over, I think Cigna can go higher.
Right. Well, listen, Express has, 23% market share. They're going to say they're paying less than 13 times, 14% accretive on the $600 million in synergies they've noted. Although, if you look at the S4, you'll see that when they were arguing about price, Express said they could project as much as $1.5 billion in potential synergies. Yeah, he's got lots of things, Jim, that he's arguing in favor of this deal. Again, uphill battle potentially for Icahn, given how quickly the meeting's coming on. Although at the same time, if you're Cigna, you've also got a very short amount of time to respond here.
Right.
In terms of at least getting shareholders where you want them. But the big holders will be the question. ISS is important. Do you get a Vanguard or a BlackRock to actually go with Icahn is a key question. We'll have to wait and see what the battle shapes up as over the next week or two and what the vote looks like.
And why would BlackRock own what's the thesis that BlackRock would
I don't know. I don't know what the thesis would be. I mean, listen, he's basically saying with all the other things, he's just saying they're paying too much, right? That's what he's really saying. They're just paying too much.
He calls it a $60 billion folly.
Yeah.
Oh, please. He's buying it cheap. He needs the data. It's a better vertical if they pull this off. I honestly really think that, I don't know how much, I don't want to say a tribute that he hasn't done a lot of thought, but I think it's a compelling argument to be merged here.
Inexplicably ridiculous is what he calls their decision here, but some are wondering, trying to explain Icahn's decision here also, saying it's inexplicably, not ridiculous.
Do you think the existential threats on multiple fronts from Amazon and others are overstated?
Yes, really? I do. And I talked about Walgreens last night, about how that, too, has been one of those companies that, I feel like these are AutoZone, O'Reilly. I feel like these are Advance Auto. Look at those companies. They were all supposed to be crushed by the Death Star. They haven't been crushed by the Death Star. I think this industry is not, look, I do understand Amazon made that acquisition, but these companies make a ton of money. And I had Centene on the other day. Actually, I have Centene on constantly. And Centene is up $40 straight line. People just were short at betting on Amazon coming in. These companies do more than just drugs.